Hello and welcome to Peaceful Rebellion and to the first of many of our interviews that we're going to make with the people who are in our Telegram group.
Mhm.
We're going to start with Kerry. Hello, Kerry.
Hello, Gordon.
How are you diddling? All right?
Yeah, I'm much better than I was last week, but yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you very much for offering. You sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'll have a chat here." Kerry,
Yeah,
in my Telegram information, you were called Kerry, none of your business.
yeah, Keza,
Yeah.
none of your business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But your real name is, I'm seeing it there. Is it Kerry Willis?
yes, it is.
Okay. So tell us, Kerry, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Oof, oof. I'm just Kerry, and I mean, gosh, what do I do? What do I do? I don't really know what I do at the minute. I used to, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. You want the whole story because it's a lot.
Just an overview of where you are, and
An
then we'll dig
overview.
into it. Yeah.
Where I am, I mean, I used to work for the government for what 22 years. So at the moment, I'm working with my boyfriend's business. I did actually leave my job in 2020, probably a big mistake. Um, Although I'm not sure I could work for governments anymore. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but I used to teach legislation as well. So I was sort of a learning consultant, but a business expert as well. But then I had a big health thing, that went on since about 2008. Got myself through that. A very long story. And then I felt that I needed to do something more holistic. So I retrained as a Bowen therapist and
Hmm.
a hypnotherapist and regression therapist, um, thinking that I was going to move to Ibiza in 2020, beat Brexit, all of that stuff. And I had to make the decision very early doors in 2020. So I'd very much already been down the rabbit hole with my health, been to Peru, did ayahuasca, saved my life. And then, so I was quite well informed on rabbit holes and all of that stuff. And then in 2020, decided to take redundancy. I actually pushed for it, I wasn't forced into it because I wanted this dream to go and live in Ibiza. We've also had a lot to do with the dance scene right from the very, very beginning, which I think links very much into everything that's going on now. Um, we knew something was going afoot, but we didn't. It's only now that we can put all the pieces together. So my boyfriend's been a DJ since 1986, that's me from 2020. So very much involved in all that. So Ibiza was the perfect place for us, but not to go. I mean, if we'd have gone earlier, it probably would have killed us. But at this age, I wanted to do the holistic side of things.
Hmm.
Um, and the north of the island is very much holistic, so it's all us old timers, the original crew. But then also keep our hands in with music here and there. We tend
Yeah.
to do private stuff. Now, no, I'm not into the big club stuff. We do the odd thing now and again. We run nights for many, many years. Um, so yeah, it was perfect. And then, yeah, 2020 happened. So I went delving in because I'm panicking, going, gosh, I'm making this huge life changing decision. So I was already well invested in rabbit holes and legislation and all of that stuff and hypnotherapy. So I was like, hang on, something's not right here. So yeah, I still left my job. And there was, by the time I kind of realized this was big, it was kind of too late to back out. I couldn't travel because I wouldn't play the game. So yeah, so that's all on the shelf. If it ever happens, I've no idea. But that's that. So then I was at a bit of a loss. So I'm helping my boyfriend with his business, which is online, selling building consumables, la la la. I
Okay.
did I did try and set up the holistic thing where I live. I live in a very small market town, but it was very much focused. My business plan, everything was focused on people with loads of money, all hedonistic old DJs, pop stars, people like that, and had links into it all. And of course, it all fell apart. So massive big loss. So I had all this time on my hands. Whoopsie, whoopsie doopsie. So yeah, an incredible insight into so many things already. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was all over it like a rash.
Okay.
So,
When would you say that you woke up? What was your moment?
I mean, I woke up years ago, but very much so. But I started looking into spiritual aspects of things. I suppose we'd probably call it new age crap now. From about the age of 13, read all the books, started with the Prophet, Conversations with God. What else? Betty Shine. I don't know if you know Betty Shine.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bless her. And my mom, so me and my mom, this was our journey. Unfortunately, my mom died in 2019 of motor neurones disease, which has been a hell of a thing to deal with. And I think a lot of what I was doing was escaping the pain of that as well. So just delving into something. But so I very much woke up a long time ago, and the dance scene, woke us all up massively. But when I literally woke up within a month. So when the whole thing kicked off, I was actually in London with my job. I was in London most weeks. And I went the full board because I thought, wow, this is a proper pandemic. So I'm hazmat suiting, my boyfriend sells all that stuff, masking up all this stuff. And everyone was looking because the government said, don't do this, don't do this. And I was going, hang on, if this is a pandemic, I'm doing this, I don't care what you say. And then as soon as they sort of said to people, oh, no, we want you to do this, this, and this, I went, hang on a minute. Nothing's right here. I've always had this ability. I don't know what it is. I think I squash it a lot. I've been told twice by very high functioning autistic people that I've only just met years apart that I have something called Cassandra Syndrome. Oh. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's used in psychology quite a bit, but it actually goes back to Greek mythology. So Cassandra, Apollo was in love with her. And she shunned him. So he cursed her with the ability of foresight, but no one would ever believe you. And it is one of the most painful curses. So I'm always like, Apollo, leave me alone, leave me alone. This is like this sort of, so yeah. And I get what they mean now. And weirdly at the time, I didn't really think much of it. They basically sort of explained that people don't listen to you or respect what you have to say, because I was in a very male orientated environment. And they sort of said, you'll come out with something and no one's listening to you. And 2 hours later, someone else will claim it as theirs and everybody's listening, So, and again, it's sort of older guys. They're all lovely, but I think a little bit sexist and all that stuff. And yeah, so, and it's like, yeah, that's been my whole life. No one ever respects. I see all this stuff come in, not just this, but lots of other things, little tiny things. I know when someone's cheating. I know when someone's being naughty. I can tell. And no one ever listens. And it's very, very frustrating, very frustrating. So that has been really interesting. There's so many things from the past that have kind of, I was all over it, but I didn't really understand the language or what was really going on. And now I've been able to piece it all together. So I literally spent years going right down into it, already been down the rabbit hole. And of course, because it was health, I all inadvertently uncovered Big Pharma and all of this stuff. And, they kept me sick for years and I got myself out of it. And I haven't been to a doctor over 12 years and I have an incurable disease, apparently. But right. No, but I don't. I take no medication. I take a lot of herbal stuff and got myself, I'm a bit of a scatterbrain. My brain is a billion miles an hour. I don't even know how I know all the things I know, but in the moment they just come. If someone sort of puts me on the spot, I sort of, I don't really know. I predicted a friend's wedding once because I met somebody just briefly once and just knew they were going to be my friend's new future wife. Silly little things. So I've always had this ability, and it is erratic. It's a lot, but I have been able to piece together so much. And I think hypnotherapy as well, as you will know, they were hypnotizing us. They were using NLP, 3-letter slogans, all of these things, even legislation. When I delved into that through work and taught legislation, no one can really understand it because it's half English, half legalese, dots in the wrong place. And you're thinking, gosh, should nobody proofread this? But of course it's on purpose. Sure. So yeah. It all everything just came together. It's huge. It's a lot, but I tried not to talk too much because I do talk a lot. I don't know. I think I sometimes talk a lot because I feel like no one hears. And then they'll come to me like 6 months later and go, oh, a bit, and I'm going, yeah. Told you that 6 months ago. But to be really clear, it nearly destroyed me. because I was so awake, like really, really, and all over everything, smashed everything. The biggest thing that put it all together was when I looked into Freemasonry and the codes and things like that. And that's when everything, because I couldn't get my head around. I'm a massive empath. How could any human being want to do this, and what would be their reasoning? And then obviously when I delved into that secret society type thing, it's like, oh, hello. And it all started to make sense. Okay. When I did my ayahuasca in Peru, it was to get myself well. First and foremost, it was incredibly deep and incredibly intense with Shipibo people. And I went to what I now know is called the quantum space. I didn't know the language at the time, hadn't done hypnotherapy, hadn't done regression. And when I was in, one of the first things that happened whilst I was going in, which I went in very, very fast, and she called me as well. I mean that's another story. She was like in the air, the wind everywhere, calling me. Don't get me wrong, I was terrified. But yeah, I got this place and it was like the universe, but it was full of codes and mathematical stuff. And it sort of, a load of it just came into me. And I was sort of said, I feel like I've just been downloaded like a computer. But I wasn't really using language like that at the time. This is 2014, maybe.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I think that I was given, and she kept whispering to me as she does. She's so lovely. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was brutal because I had a lot to get over.
When you say she, are you talking about Pachamama?
Pachamama, yeah, of course. Yeah. And she just kept telling me I would understand. So, and over the time, wow, here we are. So I think I was given a lot of information as well, that I couldn't, all in code, geometry, mathematics, all that sort of stuff. So, and bit by bit, it really has unfolded, and she continues to work with me all of the time. Okay. So yeah, very powerful, very, very incredible.
Ever think about going back? Do you ever think about going back and doing another session?
I realized I don't have to go back to Peru, because at the time no one had ever really heard of it. And then literally a week before I went, 2 guys had just died, and it was like shit. And I was panicked. I was like, oh my God. So I'd never really heard of this thing. And then all of a sudden it was everywhere I went. As I said, I could hear it in the wind. I'd pick up a magazine on a train, and it was just like, gosh, I need to go. And at this point I was so sick I could barely walk up 2 stairs. So Peru wasn't the best. Peru's all hills.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we tried to make a holiday out of it, but I'm just like that, in Machu Picchu going, I'll wait for you to come back. And everyone's, I didn't want to make it like that. But in the end, I had this quite personal session, very powerful. And yeah, completely changed my life, and my health. My intention was just to get well. I wasn't looking for spiritual enlightenment. I'd been doing this for years, kind of saw through the whole facade of New Age, big time. Got sick. It's very much a middle class to upper class thing. And it's, where's the working class version, because that's the real version. Because for a lot of people, it's just a little hobby, isn't it? And it's all full of fluff and nonsense. And the most profound thing I got in the next day, whatever, time is irrelevant at that point, as you know, was that you did this. And I felt like Dorothy out of The Wizard of Oz. All you had to do was click your fingers together and you could do it all along. And then I was thinking, oh, bloody hell, you little, it's supposed to be the good fairy. I just nearly got attacked by all this stuff. And all I had to do was this. And again, it's that realization that the power is within you. I didn't get healed by some magical serpent like being, and it was all geometry, blah, blah, blah. As you know, it's hard to explain. But no, what it did is it blew my pineal gland to pieces and made me realize that I had the power and when I came out of it, almost felt like I had too much power, and I had to be careful because sometimes people annoyed me, and then I watched them stumble and fall and go, whoa. And I found myself almost shutting it down. You think you want that power, and it's like, whoa, I don't know what to do with it. I haven't been trained to take care of something this powerful. So yeah, but it's just been incredible, but painful and difficult, and at times feeling like you can't go on. And so many, I think at the beginning, it was very much, I completely sussed what we call the macro, I suppose. I sussed out how the whole world is now functioning, which is quite a lot. I grieved for that because I had a really, really good life. I had loads of fun and I really loved it. I had all this hope, had all these dreams coming up, and it was just blown to pieces. My whole everything that I used to, and it's like shit. And I grieved for it a lot. So it was very, very difficult. But people saw it as arrogance and ego, like I was trying to be smarter than everybody. And then I started to see the micro version, and I've got rid of so many people. It is unreal, because I started to see that, and the way that I was treated was not very nice. It was cruel. It was like bullying. And I was like, what do you guys think I've got to gain here? Like, I'm not making money. I'm not online. Don't even need likes. I need nothing. I'm trying to save your lives. The wolf is at our door now. Let's go. This has been prophesized. The reason that the prophecies didn't come true, in my opinion, is because they changed the calendar from 13 to 12 months. So if you actually do the maths, the end of the world as we know it was 2019. So there you go. And it's like all these little things, but my brain's just been on overdrive. I'm piecing things together from so far back, because I delved in very, very, there was the point when you read all the books and you're preaching to everyone, oh, listen to what this book says and that book says, but it isn't. I know loads of people like that, and all they ever do is quote all these books, but what they haven't done is actually got to a point where they can just do it themselves. And it's like, I don't really read books like that anymore, because that's just somebody else's journey and opinion. And I have got to a point now where my brain is capable of this already. Mm-hmm. I don't need, I've read all the books, I've got all the foundations, and now I can figure all this out myself. And I have been. Recently I watched, there's a film called Human Traffic, which was not as it sounds. It's about the dancing, the best one, I think. I tend to watch it annually, and there's a bit at the after party where they're all like blah blah blah, talking up what seems like funny and nonsense, but I was like, when you actually listen to the content, they're prophets and philosophers, and that's what we used to be like, afterwards our minds are like wide open, and we're talking about no internets, and we're coming out with all this stuff, and it's funny. But actually, then I was thinking, well, where's all the prophets and philosophers gone? And I looked recently and realized it's the most dangerous job in the world, because they all got killed. And that's why you can go and study it, but no one declares themselves as a prophet or philosopher anymore. They daren't, because, history tells us that your days are numbered if you even go there. Sure. So, yeah. So if I go off on tangents, you're going to have to bring me back, because there's a lot going
on. Question for you then.
Ask me questions.
So based on everything that you've looked at, everything you've studied, etc., where do you see us right now? Where are we?
Not where I wish we were, because I'm quite impatient. I've had to learn patience. Wow. Such a huge, I think we're divided. I feel like I don't live in the same reality. I feel like I'm stepping in and out of different timelines all the time. And I'm just, there was times in my lowest moments that I felt like I was watching through perspex glass, like in a zoo, a human zoo, and watching this behavior. And I could see the darkness in people. I could see the weights of everybody, and I was struggling. I got to a point where I was struggling to communicate with people, because they just were on. It's like they were just in a different universe. So, and this is physics. This isn't like wishy-washy hippie shit, is it? This is straight up physics. They've always said there's this da 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 da, and for the first time ever, I've actually felt that I've actually physically, tangibly, I think is probably a better word, experienced that theory of being in different timelines and time zones and all of that stuff. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you have hope?
Yes, absolutely. There's not as much as I had. Sick of all the hopium, sick of preaching to the converted. I've pretty much shut up now, because I've got a bit, it was bullied into submission. But now I just have to sit there and listen to everybody else chirping on about stuff I said 5 years ago, because Facebook says it's all right now and all that stuff. So, And what they don't understand is how they're still being led even into the awakening. They're being led into the awakening. And I don't know if we're the rebels or whatever. And then I've delved into all sorts of stuff as well. And I sometimes then wonder if I've always had this massive protection around me. But these people, as we probably know, are they can read. They know who we are. They know what our energy is. I mean, I just say whatever. And if they can't touch me, they'll use the weak people around me, because everybody's been to hell and back in the last 5 years, which weakened everybody's frequency. And therefore, I think other people have been used to try to bring me down. And don't get me wrong, they won many, many times. But I bounced back. So
that's
important.
That. That's important bit.
Half Irish, half Irish. You don't. That's what we do.
So, how do you see the future, Kerry? What do you think? Where do you think we're going to go to? What do you think is going to happen in the near future?
I've tried to stop that now, because I had such a fantastic imagination, and I was always very positive, and I find it difficult to make decisions now, because I'm still learning how to walk in this new world. I felt like a child who'd just been born again into this world that I recognized, but it wasn't the same. So all of the things all my structure was completely collapsed and gone. So even just trying to make very simple decisions became incredibly hard. And I find it very difficult to even go sort of beyond. I know what my hope is for. But at the moment, I'm trying to just be critical thinking. I don't know if I've almost become trapped in critical thinking, where every time I just walk this line between and then, but and I just there's always this so I think I've in order to protect myself, I've had to sort of just calm it all down, and just I've become very much more an observer, I think, than the trailblazer who went, come and tell everybody all this and this and this. I've literally gone woof, observe, and I think it was Oscar Wilde, was it said the observer sees more of the game or something like that than the player. So tried to stop being a player and retreated and just observing. Still to be proven wrong.
Sure. Absolutely.
People. But I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I wish I was wrong. I really want people to come and prove me wrong. Like, I'm desperate. I've begged people, come to my table. Don't just call me names. Like, I got facts. I got information. I got this and this and this. And you just call me names. Flat earther,
that's all that lover,
Trump lover, flat earther, blah, 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 conspiracy theorists. It's like, what? I mean, and even if the earth is whatever shape, it's like, that isn't going to change anything for me. But again, it's just one of those things. I don't really know. Anything's possible now. Everything I used to think might be, everything's just gone bush, completely flipped.
Sure. Let me ask you a question about hope, because you mentioned hopium, yeah? And and I think we all got caught up a little bit in stuff, in promises. What was your biggest disappointment in terms of all of that hopium that we were given?
Trump, big time. I mean, I'm never, obviously, as a woman, I was programmed to dislike this man. But I used to just find him hilarious. I was like, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. He's American. Doesn't bother me. Ha, ha, ha. Funny. But the way people sort of latched onto it, and there was always this, right, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. And then, so at the beginning of Telegram, I think we were all very, right at the start of Telegram, weren't we? Which, again, thank God, this was the revolution. And I tried so hard to get everybody on it, but I couldn't. And so, whatever. There was that. There was just all of it. And again, a lot of this, the protests as well, I didn't like it, especially the fact I went to Trafalgar Square. I was in London every week for 12 years, and I went about 10 years ago to Trafalgar Square, and I felt trapped in it. I didn't like it, and all the tubes were shut, and I was literally running around it like a mad woman, like, I need to get out of here. I couldn't explain why, and they always seemed to go to this place, and then of course I don't know who to trust anymore as far as all of those people go. I do think that there's got to be some good people in there, and they have to play a very, like an undercover cop, like somebody, they've got to do that. And I think at the end, if I'll ever get to see whatever, I think you know Scooby-Doo, and they go, it was you all along, you know, that sort of thing. So again, this is where the critical thinking, you know, we're not taught to critical thinking in comprehensive school. So I think, you know, I've had to really train my brain to become a critical thinker and not have, you know, be filled with all this hopium. So, and at times, I suppose it tipped the other way, and then I become just couldn't see anything. No one's listening. Nothing's getting done. So, but, you know, just when you think that's like that, it just sort of changes a little bit, and then the hope comes back. But I mean, yeah, as I say, I'm struggling. I did have all this hope for the future. I really thought we were going to stand shoulder to shoulder. I thought all my friends were smart and all of that stuff, and that they were going to be down with it. But my God, they weren't. I was just like, wow. And then they all over time sort of attacked me and it was all and saying me that I was being this and this. But actually, I actually respected them so much that I didn't think they would fall for it. So they can't see that side of it. I really believe that they were. I'm sorry about that. I should have turned my notifications off. But I totally believe that they were with me, you know. So I wasn't trying to disrespect anybody, but it had the reversed effect, which just shows the ego that people carry, you know, and particular people with children, because I wasn't able to have children, and they took it really bad because obviously they felt like I was disrespecting them as parents. But as I said to them, I know you're too busy, you know, I'm doing this on your behalf, and I'm sending them like proper information, legislation. Look at the legislation changing. If you want me to convert it to English, I will. But this is terrifying, especially for parents, you know, because they are literally telling you they will break your door down, they will take your children if you don't do as you're told, because you are not a fit person. And, you know, and they just were like, just seeing it as I was attacking them, like I'm making all of this is my fault. But of course, this is how powerful the hypnosis has been. Incredible. I mean, from yourself, as much as it's terrifying, you've got to give it to them. They've absolutely smashed it out of the park, don't they?
Hats off. Fantastic job done.
Wow. Utterly wow. So yeah, you know, and what people don't understand, oh, you're so toxic and you're so this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I am not being respectful and quiet about genocide. Are you mad? Sure. You know, and if can you imagine, like, if somebody's there and you say something goes really wrong and you go, oh, I kind of knew about that, but I didn't want to upset you. They go, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? It's like, well, you caught between this. There's nothing you can do for the best. And then, but in a way, I'm kind of glad these people are, oh, so sorry. My blooming notifications. Can you hear the beeps going off? So yeah, and it was very low, very, very, very lonely, very lonely. And it, again, Peaceful Rebellion was literally, I think, kept me alive for years.
Well, I remember during all the lockdowns and all of that.
Yeah.
On the Fridays, you used to come and do a bit of DJing on this, and put music and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it was like, you know, we're just preaching to the converted here. There's no point us telling each other everything. We already bloody know, you know, it's the people we want to get to, we can't. So let's all just, what I found most lovely about the group, and I got rid of loads of groups, like tons of them, because I started to go, hang on a minute, these people are me. It just, you know, you start to get a bit smarter over time. They were the people. Your group was never full of opium. That was all these other groups, all the bullshit, all the people at the protests, all that sort of stuff. I was like, nah, I'm out of this. Again, my instincts are on fire. But what I found with this group is that you could just talk about it like it was like we were talking about the weather. Yeah. You know, because for me, this is normal life now. First thing we talked about was the weather. That's what you do when you're British. Right. And I also want to be able to just chuck in something about what's going on, because for me, this is normal now. And so let's just talk about normal life. And if it means talking about chemtrails or whatever, it's standard. But, and I felt that I was at a place where I could just be free, be myself. But yeah, it's Friday night. Come on.
Absolutely. just for everyone to know, we do have a Telegram group. The information's in the video information. If you want to join, the address is there. Yeah, it's a nice group. You've got to be a nice person to join, though.
Thank you. But and it's the only group that, I mean, I interacted loads at the beginning, and but I'm still there. I still observe, and I still la la la. But as I said, it's just a beautiful group where you just feel safe. And that was what I loved so much about it. And it just everything, as I say, I deleted so many other. I've still got some other groups for information, but I don't interact. There's the odd pet health thing that I'll interact with if necessary, although I've got a lot of knowledge of that already. But generally, this was just a group that held me together. I don't know where I would have been without it, in all fairness, because nobody else just understood. And I just felt so at ease with these people. And it was just like, we could just say it. And no one's going to question you. Oh, I'm going to fact check that or any of that nonsense. It was, for us, it was just normal. This is life now. Let's talk about it. Blah, 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 blah. And that's why it's the only group to this day. I mean, I haven't interacted for a while. I think I did put something up a while ago. Every now and again, I will pipe up. But you notice that new people come along that need it at that time, and some of the older people, I'm sure they're probably still there, but a bit like me, because we at one point we were just like this. You know, I just need you people. And we're all, you know, very much like, I need you. I need to talk all day, every day to you people. You are my literal lifeline right now. And then over time, we've kind of healed a lot. And then new people have come along and la, 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 la. And then you see them sort of, you know, starting their journey a little bit with Peaceful Rebellion. And I think, okay, it's time for us to sort of back away, because these people, and I just think it's a beautiful space that everybody comes to just for that peace of mind and just to feel united, you know, and feel,
I've got a question for you then. So you said that you haven't been to a doctor's for 12 years, is that right?
No. Yeah. Terrifying.
I haven't been for 30 years. What would you say, what are maybe 3 or 4 things that you do to maintain your health that you might recommend? Being very careful, because we're in YouTube and you can't say things like words like CURE, things like that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, just start the question again.
Yeah. So what do you know, anything that you would want to share that you do to maintain your health?
Stay away from doctors.
Good one. Good advice.
Yeah. Yes, but this is difficult for me, because also when my mum had motor neurons, I know it was statins that did that. Oh God, can I say that on YouTube?
Don't know.
Okay. Anyway, it needs to be spoken. But anyway, how do I do this without saying anything I shouldn't? I just, after doing Aya, I just seem to know what to do. I've been researching for years. I've been very poorly with autoimmune, which led on to adrenal blowout, endometriosis, and my life was just not worth living. They did nothing for me. They gaslit me. So I started researching, but there's so much information, and I was very ill, so I struggled. And then after that, it was like, eureka moment, eureka. Met people, did all sorts of things, and it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people helped me along the way. A lot of energy work went down. Food was the big thing, changing my diet. So removing the 3 R's is the big thing. Remove what isn't right for you. We're all individual. That was the big thing as well. We are individual. There is no two people, even what do you call them? Twins, identical twins may have different intolerances. Remove the intolerance, fix the gut flora. So remove the intolerance, calm everything down, fix the gut flora, or it's expensive P. You spend all this money. Oh, I found the wonders thing. La 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 la. It's just expensive P because the gut flora can't process it. So it's just boop, boop. Fix the gut flora, and then you can replace with anything that you need. And generally, when you're told to stay away from Summit, go.
Right.
Go. And learning how to research well. So understanding who you can trust, looking for patterns, which is, again, something my brain's always been very good at, looking for patterns of because there's always a sort of foundation which will probably suit a lot of people. So all of that stuff. And then I also had a lot of help with every week I'd have some sort of energy healing of various people.
Right.
And that just to give me the strength to carry on, because I had a full-time job. It was really full on. And just and then it literally all just came together. Never give up. It took me years. Never give up. Keep trying. Find your way. Research, natural healing. Look into it. Look for. But until you and if you're not willing to remove the things that are not good for you, then forget it. And if you're not willing to work with the gut, which can be. It makes you feel terrible when you first start. I mean, God, you feel so ill. So a lot of people back away, but keep going back to the start, starting again, get ducks in a row, as I would say.
Yeah. And what have you had to give up?
Tea.
That you didn't want to, but you had to. What tea?
Blooming tea. In the whole world, blooming tea. And I use dowsing rods. Okay. No, not a pendulum, because you're messing with big things there, but dowsing rods are reading my body's electromagnetic reaction. Again, that came to me in a eureka moment. And I'm very good. My energy is massive. It's almost dangerous. I have to protect it. But and they saved my life. So finding out what I can and can't eat, taking them everywhere. Everyone thought it was crazy. But they live now in our kitchen with all the wooden spoons and everything. And even with takeaways, is it still all right to eat? Yeah, it's fine. So then, they haven't killed me yet. So that really helped me. But having to remove tea, lemon. Oh God, I love lemon. All the things I loved, everything I was and I get quite addicted to things. I get really, and I will eat them over and over and over again. And then I realized that what they were doing was creating adrenaline, right? And that's why I loved them. Yeah. And of course, adrenaline is addictive. So and that's why I believe the rods. I knew I wasn't overriding them, because these are the things I loved the most. So I had to remove tomatoes, uncooked, lemons, loads of squashes, sweet potatoes, not the things you think, not the gluten, not the dairies, all of that stuff. Tea is also very rich in fluoride, so it grows in fluoride-rich soil, and I had thyroid issues, and so so that's, and still to this day. But weirdly now, that when I try and have these things, they just go straight through me. Beetroot was another one. Oh my God, I love beetroot. I just eat it out no, none of that. So cutting those things out. So I was lucky it wasn't gluten and all of that, because that is tough. I mean, geez, if they got a gluten thing where every chicken gets sprinkled, it's like everything may contain gluten. You're like, my God, it's everywhere. So as if it's being sprinkled down from maybe it is, but whatever. So thankfully, for me, it was very much fruit and veg. That was my problem, and tea.
Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Yeah. What about coffee? Can you still have coffee?
Yeah, I just have one a day though.
Right.
One in the morning. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Super. And what about lifestyle? For example, how do you sort of manage your energies in your mind? Is it meditation? What is it? What do you do?
Just go bounce off the walls generally. I've always struggled with meditation, because it's like,
why does that surprise me with the energy you've got?
Exactly. And it's like, oh God, my mind, stop it. So I do tend to just ball all over the place. But I think, there's various things for me, when I love dancing. That's one of my favorite meditations. And when I'm in music, there's nothing that the whole world could just collapse around me. I wouldn't give a toss. Everybody's got to find there's all these, again, new age rules. New age. I mean, does anyone know that new age was created by the CIA at a point when hippies were revolted? Was it the Vietnam War?
Sure.
Nothing but trouble. And what I think they've done, I mean, even there's certain people, which I don't want to upset others by mentioning their names, that I know were recruited by the CIA. The story of the Unabomber, where they went into Princeton and they start a bit like certain so-called religion that's based on sciencey type things. Anyway, culty things. And what they say, we want a personality test. And what they're trying to find is the malleable mind, And for me, they took the Zen and removed the warrior. And you have to then say, so why have we got these Zen warriors? These are the most Zen people in the world, in your Buddhist monks and your Tibets, and they meditate. Why are they warriors? because they are dangerous. They're dangerous to the plan. They know, they see. And this is why they have to learn to protect themselves, because they want to eradicate these people, because they don't live within their plan. They don't live within their program. So anybody who tries to, including the dance scene, which is really quite, I mean, I could write a book on that. Most people just, oh yeah, it was really great. For me, it was a spiritual movement. It was a shift in consciousness, and we were dangerous to them. And me and my friend would be like, yeah. And we knew at the time we were, but now we know why. Now we know why. They even changed the music. They came in and they tried to just riot squads. And Margaret Thatcher created legislation. We had riots, all sorts of things. And we're just like, whoa, man. Oh, no one was drinking alcohol. The original ecstasy. I don't know. I like to talk about these things. Tell me when to stop.
Well, you can sort of refer. Everyone knows that what.
Yeah. So the original one changed. The original one changed in 1991. And when people talk about healing medicines and stuff, I don't think anyone mentions that, because for me, having tried a few bits and bobs here and there of the psychedelic kind, that was even more profound, because it heightened every sense so positively. You know, concrete would feel like cotton wool. You loved everyone. You were incapable of hatred, and that's why it was dangerous. And nobody drank alcohol, so they had to shut us down. So it wasn't just about the fact we were dancing in empty warehouses that Maggie emptied anyway, because all these kids have no future anymore, especially in the north west, because we needed cover, because weather's a bit shit there. Whereas in London, they did it in fields, and it was all people with land and money and all that stuff. And but up north, it was just dirty industrial places where these people were probably going to go and work, where their parents had probably just lost their jobs from, and totally lost, rough as hell, absolutely beautiful, just beautiful. And no one, you know, and it wasn't about that. It was bigger than that. And I realized now what we were getting in the way of a plan. And if this had, so they started to mess with things. So they changed the music, they got inside, they created a much darker, nasty music. We used to call it the devil's music, because the original house was gospel. It was Chicago. It was beautiful. It was soulful. And it was, and then they started messing with the other things and changing it over time. And, you know, what's out there now? Dangerous, toxic nonsense, and nowhere near this. As I say, this happened. For me, it changed in 91 forever. And now you've got all the kids doing all sorts of stuff. I think they're desperately looking for that, but they're never going to find it, because it's what they did to cleverly eradicate it, which just shows they can if they want to.
Oh, yes.
They made all the ingredients so dangerous to possess. So the sassafras tree, things like that you would end up in prison for 10 years. I mean, it was insane. And yet, you know, even during lockdown, people were getting stuff all over. You couldn't get toilet roll, but you could get anything else except for this. This has never been available since Pride 91. So it just shows how they were already making sure that people were not going off on their own tangents, trying to live in a different type of society, trying to change things, you know, whether you were working class or not. I mean, this was a movement and a revolution, and it was so powerful. So yeah, everything relates back to now. Everything in my whole life relates to here to right now. And all the pieces that were missing have been put back together again. And, you know, and that's the thing, but they're still coming for us, you know. They treated us terribly at the time, you know, really, really terribly. Like we were the worst people on the planet. And yet what we were doing was spreading love. And I mean love. It was powerful. So, yeah, and it just shows anybody trying to do that, like the original hippies trying to change things, they will shut you down. Or they will get inside you. If they can't do it with violence or whatever, they'll just get inside you and break you apart. Look for the weak spots, and then they're so clever. Very, very clever.
Yeah. I think I was listening to a guy, I can't remember his name now. There's a guy who talks about kind of the mind control and how everything's done. And somebody asked him a question, how do you recognize you know, a psyop, and how do you protect yourself from it, like a psychological operation? He said, well, let's work on the premise that everywhere you look, there's a psyop happening, all around us at all times, you know. So I mean, you know, it is, and it's part of the old system. That's how they do stuff, you know, and we're shifting away from it. So the way to protect yourself is to see it, just like you've done. You see what that was. I see what that was. I know what that was. Once you see it, then you're protected.
Yeah. There's no going back now. There's no way I can ever, I mean, there is times when I wish I didn't know what I know. I really don't. It's not, again, that was the thing. It's like people just couldn't, oh, you're upsetting me. I was like, have you any idea? I'm telling you 2%. Have you any idea how much I'm carrying? Because I'm literally collapsing under this weight, and I haven't even gone to places, because if you can't handle that, you can't handle the other really, really dark stuff. And I think that also, again, what New Age didn't teach was how to dance in the dark. And that's what we kind of did. We were like, we don't care if you hate us. We don't care if we're on the front page of the newspapers or you got governments going whatever. We know what we're doing is pure love. And we were dancing in the dark, and we're like, we don't care. We'll dance to our own heartbeat if you turn the music off. We don't care, because that's all we want to do is connect and dance. And we break down all of the boundaries, race barrier boundaries is 1980, 88, 89, race barriers. No one cared. No one had to go, oh, I'm homosexual. No one cared. We were all in it together. You could be next to a billionaire or someone who lives on, no one give a shit. And now they want to sell that back to me. They tried to destroy us for doing one of the most beautiful things ever, and that was to just remove all the barriers, and we did. No one cared. Sexism was gone. Racism was gone. Homophobia was gone. It was just us going, oh my God, we've changed the world. This is it. We've done it. This is all we have to do. And everyone's going to look. There'll be no more wars. Everyone's just going to, it's going to be amazing. We really were like so excited. And yeah, so that here we are. So yeah, anytime anybody tries to do that, they will come for you. And even though we didn't have the internets and things like that, they were all over us.
For sure, yeah. Would you, if you had a choice to go back to sleep and not know what you know, would you do it?
I don't know.
Tempting,
yeah, I'm tempted. I mean, maybe if someone said, here's one just for one night. Oh yeah, thanks. But what I do in order to do that is I tend to watch old stuff. I watch old comedies from the time, the nostalgia. And it's not just that I'm still enjoying the comedy. I remember how my mind felt at that time. And I remember feeling free and that the world was mine if I wanted it and I could do anything. Yeah. And so what these older programs do, my nostalgia and old music and things like that, I just sort of sit with them and go, oh, and it's not just the beauty of the music, and because that's there, but it's like I remember how free my mind felt and how trusting I was, and maybe a little bit naive, but my God, I was so happy and so positive and so full of hope and love for the future. So that's my little way out of it, I suppose. Hence doing the music thing on that Friday once, I just thought, my God, this is heavy, man. Let's just have a party. Let's have some fun, and let's bring it. So that's the only thing I've kind of got left right now. But as I say, pretty much sit back. I think we've preached to the converted enough. For me, it's all just playing out exactly as I said. I just have to bite my lip and observe and just hope that somewhere soon it's all going to collapse, but whether, I don't know. And all this people talked about this 5D, what's the words? And it was like, people had these pictures of us all floating off into the sky and the ships are coming to get us and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe they are. I've never quite felt like I belonged to planet Earth in all honesty. And people talk about aliens. I was like, well, aren't we the weirdest thing on this planet? I mean, yes, okay, we're supposed to be connected to whatever. I mean, I worked in Darwin House once upon a time in Shrewsbury, where Mr. Darwin, and I've always thought it was full of shit. And because he used to go to church, he was a massive, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Evolution or what? Hang on, what's going on here? If he believes in a higher power, but everyone's, oh, you're either this or you're that. So why can't you be both? He was. So anyway, and I just think, but we're so far away. So are we not the aliens anyway? Who knows? And
who knows?
Doesn't matter. But I've always felt that a bit of an outsider, square peg in a round hole. Don't really know. Always had this insight that is from Cassandra Syndrome, which is not. I'm not trying to be a smart arse. It's actually quite if you read up about the Greek mythology side of it, it's actually it's a curse. And it's you've got to give it to Apollo. That's a nasty one, to never be believed when all you're trying to do is tell people how it is.
Absolutely.
It's pretty raw, man. And it hurts. And yeah, it hurts. So yeah, it's advocate. Well done, Apollo. Good one.
Well, Kerry, I think we'll probably bring the conversation to an end this time. I want to thank you for everything that you've given us. I mean, you've given us a massive wave of information. The thing that sticks out the most, and the one I want to say I like what you're saying, is when you said that you've learned to become the observer, rather than trying to change the world. There's an expression, don't try and carpet the whole world, just put on a pair of slippers. And that's that. When we get to that place, at least you have more peace, don't you?
There's also one thing that I think I've learned the most, so if somebody, people attach themselves to these gurus or these guides or whatever, we've all been there. If you're any type of good guru, if I still had my student coming back after a year, I'd feel like a failure as a guru. It's like, are you not ready to be one yourself? And we need to stop idolizing these certain people. They're just human beings with their own opinions or whatever. And I think, yes, learn from them, get your stuff together, but remember to put the books down and believe in yourself, because you are just as powerful and you can do it all. And surely let your mind figure it all out and be the observer and see how it all fits. And that's something that's been very strong in the last 5 years.
Excellent. Beautiful words, beautiful advice. Kerry, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your journey. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And I appreciate everything. As I said, Peaceful Rebellion has been my savior. You've no idea how much in them early years. It was just a place, exactly that, a peaceful rebellion. And that's all we can ever do. It's all I ever want. Yeah. So thank you for that, and thank you for everybody, past, present, whatever. I'm still there. I'm still observing, but more of an observer. So thank you so much.
Okay, Kerry. Well, I'll see you again, and I'll see you in Peaceful Rebellion.
That's love. Right. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.